Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and the elite Bretonnian Grail Knights are ready to charge off into battle against the High Elves today, as we have Tequila Sunset on the Bretonnians, and Draco will be commanding the High Elves. So for the Bretonnians, it is going to be King Lewin Leoncoeur. He's going to be up in the sky, bringing the Sword of Corone, nice little AoE debuff, the Lion's Shield, he has Stand Your Ground, Foe Seeker, and of course he does have that regeneration. But that only lasts until his leadership is broken, and he is going to be losing that. But otherwise, for the rest of the forces, we are going to be seeing the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, the Knights Errant ROR. These guys do have Frenzy, so that will give them Immunity Psychology, while that is going to be active. And then we have a double Grail Knight as well, who are going to be charging forth. So some very elite shot cavalry here, and some very nice stats across the board. And for some additional cavalry, we do have a couple of just the regular Knights Errant. And for the infantry, just going to be a bunch of peasant mobs going to be trying to absorb as much damage as possible while all the cavalry does all the work. And we have some just spearmen at arms behind them, and then some peasant bowmen with pox arrows. Always nice to be seeing them, because they do have that poison, and that is kind of one of the big advantages that the Bretonnians have, is that poison that they can just kind of apply across the board. For some assistance, we have a Paladin coming in with Guardian, and then for the spellcasting, it is going to be the Damsel of Beast with Flock of Doom, Transformation to get on. It looks like we have the Scroll of Shielding, as well as the Power Stone as well, so a little bit extra magic, and then a nice one use to kind of prevent any one character or unit from taking too much incoming damage. And for the High Elves, they definitely have a bit of that DPS coming their way, as we do have the Sisters of Avalorn, and as well as double Handmaiden of the Everqueen. So these guys, they are going to be on horseback, and they do have magical attacks and flaming attacks bonus versus large in melee, and armor piercing as well on their missile strength. So a rather nice DPS. There's no other abilities they'll be bringing for them. And then for the Lord, it's going to be Alariel the Radiant, as she does have the Star of Avalorn. We have as well as Arcane Conduit. And then we have Tempest, Shield of Thorns, as well as Earthblood. For additional abilities, we have Shield Stone of Isha, giving 12% physical resist in an AoE. Shield the Safri for her lore passive, and that is going to be it for her. For the rest of the force, we have Spearman, Silvering Guard for that front line. They'll be backed up by a pair of Lothran Sea Guard, and then in the fiery back, we do have the Phoenix Guard. Elite Halberd units looking to be a good deterrent against the Bretonnian Cav, which there is sure to be plenty of when you are going to be facing Bretonnia, so not the worst pick in the world there. So let's see how things are going to be going, as shots already raining across from the High Elves, peppering into these Knights Errant, doing a nice little bit of damage, as well as the Lion Chariot Trace as well, going to be charging through already, going to be routing one of the peasant mob before they even do hit that front line, and then the rest of the units just kind of slowly plucking away as many shots as possible, trying to wear them down. Really, these peasant bowmen should be one of the more important focuses here. All these peasants are not going to be doing a whole lot to this, even the spears, or especially like Silvering Guard. They're going to be just pretty much washing up against them. Spearmen are going to be trying to find a little bit of a hole, trying to sneak in and kind of zone out these Handmaidens of the Everqueen, but they are going to be diving right on forward, going to be kicking that damsel a little all over the map, but no damage taken off that charge. And those Handmaidens, they don't want to be getting too far from the rest of their forces, because there is plenty of cavalry just kind of lying in wait here. But a lot of the kind of more expensive units for the Bretonnians are starting to take quite a bit of shots, especially from those Sisters of Avalorn. Those Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis took quite a bit, and we are going to be getting a Tempest as well, and King Lewin with his Paladin are just a little too far away. That is an overcasted one, so that's going to be lasting a little bit longer, but that is going to be slowing them down, doing a bit of damage, and allowing all of these units to get some nice shots in. Little Earthblood going down on the Sisters of Avalorn, as all these peasant bowmen are starting to get a little bit of damage in. King Lewin kind of diving down, but he is diving right into some very elite halberds here. Doesn't want to be staying there too long. He does pop a Foe Seeker, Stand Your Ground, and we do have the Sword of Corone as well going down, reducing that armor and melee defense, just as these Grail Knights do charge in, trying to get a little bit of damage there. But the Paladin does have I believe that is or one of these, Alariel the Radiant has the Shield of Thorns going down on her, just kind of keeping her a little healthy, especially with that Frail Manticore being summoned from the Damsel of Beast, trying to snipe out Alariel, get as much damage in. And the Star of Avalorn is also going to be getting popped right on top of these very expensive Phoenix Guard, and they'll be getting a nice little bit of healing if they are able to stay inside of that circle, and they definitely need a bit of that if they are going to hold back the Bretonnians who are coming in. But they are able to break some of the incoming troops. These Grail Knights have taken a lot of damage, and the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis are pretty much done for the day. I think they're just going to be packing up and leaving. However, the Lion Chariots of Trace on the high up side have taken quite a bit of damage themselves. Balance power is slightly in Bretonnia's favor. King Lewin is nice and healthy, and that is really kind of the biggest thing here. That summon enabled to engage with Alariel pretty much the entire summon, and a second one is on its way, going to be getting here any second now. looking to finish the job that the first one started, as that one is going to be finally collapsing from exhaustion as that summon does finally dissipate. But the High Elf lines have really collapsed here. All of the Peasant Bowmen have been able just free to fire throughout the course of the fight. Nothing's been able to really challenge them or kind of keep them on their toes. The Bretonnia mobility kind of shutting down. The Sisters of Avalorn finally able to break them out of that box, get them routing, and then chase them down because, yeah, the High Elves just don't have the mobility to really contend the Grail Knights. They only have those Lion Chariots in terms of quick mobility with the two Handmaidens of the Other Queen. But if we look down into the middle here, Alariel trying to avoid that Frail Manicore. It looks like we do have some spells going on. We have an Earthblood going down on all like the Lothran Seaguard and stuff, trying to just kind of heal them up. But that Frail Manicore smelling Bloodwater, trying to finish off Alara the Red. She has only used one of her Stars of Avalorn, so if the Bretonians are able to get her off the field before that second one does come down, that is going to keep a lot of healing off the board, and it does look like she is going to completely go down, falling to that summon, as well as the Paladin diving in to try and finish the job. Now only the Handmaidens of the Everqueen, now that they have lost their queen, is going to have to fight in her stead, try and salvage a victory here, but the Bretonians just slowly grinding everything down bit by bit. The Feral Manicore, King Lewin, everything just trying to finish things off, but they are fighting in a very inopportune position here, as they have Phoenix Guard, they have Spearmen, all of those anti-large units going to be surrounding the Lords and Heroes here, doing a nice bit of damage, but they have been able to get one of the Handmaidens of the Other Queen out, while the roaming mobility is just kind of slowly plucking away and kind of finishing off whatever they can. But the Lion Chariots of Trace are finally able to get into these Peasant Bowmen, able to start cycling through and kind of get them wavering here, but to their rescue comes those Knights Errant, going to be trying to finish off the Lion Chariot, as they do get a nice charge right into the side, and they very well might be able to finish it off, but it is going to get one more charge through these Peasant Bowmen. Just kind of a little bit disruption before the rest of the cavalry kind of drags them down, as it is down to only two of those. If we go back to the rest of the units, it looks like Sword of Corone is being popped by King Lewin, as he does try and finish off the Handmaids, and things are looking very strong for Bretonnia here in the late game, just slowly grinding away. Silverin are being terror routed, and the rest of the units are just slowly getting depleted. Even those Phoenix Guard are just getting worn down. And now the Damsel of Beast just trying to shut down these Lothran Seaguard. As you get a nice little charge in here, should be able to break these, even though they are going to be Spirit units. And I think, yeah, at this point, the High Elves, they don't really have a whole lot left on the field to kind of clean things up. The Bretonians just have the Grail Knights. King Lewin's too healthy, and he has plenty of healing left to go. So if the Bretonians are very cautious here, that just King Lewin alone should be able to finish things off, and nothing can really contend the Peasant Bowmen at this point. So all of the High Elves are just going to get slowly shot to pieces and worn down as King Lewin does cycle in and out. The Handmaiden of the Everqueen on the far side is going to be coming back, and they'll be getting some more shots in as things go. But it looks like King Lewin is going to be turning his attention her way, going to be trying to finish her off once and for all. She's going to be running for the hills, seeing King Lewin coming her way. But King Lewin is going to be getting that charge, diving right on down, and see if he's going to be able to get a hit. And it looks like he's going to be missing that first initial shot. But he does land the second one, and that is going to be sending her running for the hills. And with her gone, that is going to be almost army losses here for the High Elves. There is just not enough left to just kind of withstand the tide. Phoenix Guard too low, Silverin as well. And that is going to pretty much be it. I think it's only a matter of time. King Lewin, all he's got to do is just land one good hit. Even just the shots here from the Peasant Bowmen might be enough to push that leadership over the edge. But at least these Silverin and the Phoenix Guard are able to at least break some of these Spearmen unit here. And we break in those Peasant Bowmen. And the last of the Peasant Bowmen, though, can be using up the last of their ammunition. Actually, Bounce Power has gone a little bit more back towards center, but I just don't think there's enough left, especially now the Phoenix Guard are routing. And King Lewin is targeting this Handmaiden of the Everqueen, going to be focusing her down, and with her going to be going pretty quick here. I think that is going to be just about it. The only thing she has is the ammunition she has left. She does have Firewall moving, 360 fire, but yeah, just not going to be enough. King Lewin instead is going to be focusing on these Phoenix Guard, trying to get them routed once for all. They are wavering. They terror route, and with them routing, there's just not enough left. Peasant Bowman getting off some more shots, and the Grail Knights now finally coming in to get a little bit more presence here in the ground fight, as King Lewin's just jumping to and fro, going right into the Silver now. Grail Knights just going to be whittling things out. Peasant Bowman finishing off the Phoenix Guard, and I think, the High Elves definitely lasting a bit longer than I was going to be expecting here. I did not think that they were going to be able to kind of drag it out this long. Silverin are just getting onto the Peasant Bowman, shutting them down. but there's just too many units left. King Lewin just slowly regenning bit by bit. You can just kind of see that health bar slowly ticking up. Plenty of healing left to go as the Grail Knights get a nice downhill charge right into the Silverin, and are also going to be mucking up the Handmaiden and Everqueen, which is now going to allow King Lewin to dive in if he does want to, but instead he is going to be shattering those Phoenix Guard. They are now gone, Silverin gone, and the rest of the units just slowly bogging down the High Elves. Only one unit Silverin, the Handmaiden, and then just some Lothern Sea Guard off into the distance. That is not going to be saving the High Elves hide today. Peasant Bowmen are back online. Going to be finishing off the Silverin here, especially with the charge from these Grail Knights. Are going to be sending these guys packing as well. And then just the Handmaiden left. But that is RB losses finally for the High Elves. And Bretonnians do grind their way to a victory. King Lewin coming in for a little charge there at the end. But otherwise, that's going to be it for that. Let's take a little look at the after battle report here real quick and see how things did fare on both sides. So for the High Elves, the Lion Chariots of Trace, I think they're a little outmatched here. I think having this kind of mobility, maybe not necessarily the best use, because the Bretonnians going to be bringing so much cavalry themselves. And if you only have one Lion Chariot of Trace, it's going to be really hard to kind of keep that thing mobile and operational, because all of these mobile units from the Bretonnians just are going to be able to kind of single them out pretty easily. The Sisters of Avalorn getting okay damage, but they are still very expensive units. And even like the Lothern Sea Guard were rivaling their damage overall. The Phoenix Guard did get some nice value, 1600 themselves, and then the Silverin one of them getting 1200, so some nice value there, especially against all of the rather expensive cavalry. Those Grail Knights definitely going to be generating a lot from those. Handmaidens getting, wow, one of them got 2000 overall damage. That must have been the one that was still alive at the end, able to get some nice damage in, and they are bonus versus large in melee, and their damage and their shots do quite a bit of damage, so they really can do well here in this matchup, especially if they are able to get all that shots in. However, Alariel the Radiant, I think when those Mandacores were summoned, she just had to stay within those Phoenix Guard because she just took so much damage from both of those summons, and those Mandacores definitely did their job bringing down Alariel before she was able to get that second star of Avalorn off, and those stars just provide so much healing. It could really have made quite a bit of difference if you can get some more healing on like the Phoenix Guard, both of the Silverin Guard. You can get it on all three of those, especially if the Handmaidens are also in the area. That is just so much value just from that healing alone. Now, as for the Bretonnians, for the Grail Knights, even though the one unit that did get taken out of the picture, they were able to get 1100, the other one got 1650, and then the rest of the mobility doing all right. Peasant Bowmen doing very well, especially considering they did use up all of their ammunition, and against some rather expensive troops as well. I mean, the Phoenix Guard, they don't have shields. They do have a lot of armor. The Silverin Guard and the rest did have shields themselves, but they definitely provided some opportunities to be firing into their backs, so they definitely got a lot of value from that. And then the rest of the units getting some decent value. Even the Spearman at Arms was able to generate quite a bit, 593 on that one unit, and then all the Peasant Bowmen not really going to be expecting too much. Paladin was able to get 926, even though it was taken out, and as was the Damsel of Beast. It did her job. She was able to get both the summons off after that Flock of Doom. It is nice to be able to kind of just slowly cast some more Winds of Magic, but at least getting those two summons off, that was all that Damsel of Beast really needed to do. And then we have King Lewin getting only 1,000, but just the fact that he was around in that late game, that fear, terror, and especially that regenning Lord is going to be very nice, just slowly grinding it away and just kind of clawing back more and more of that balance of power without having to really put too much of a risk onto King Lewin himself. Otherwise, a well-fought battle on both sides. That's all I'm going to have for you today. I do hope you enjoy the video, and as always, have a good one.